Kwa hayo mengi, nataka nimalizie hapa. Niseme ni mkono wananchi watukufu, kama mko tayari kutembea pamoja na mimi kuelekea mbele na jamii yetu kama Gusii na Wakenya wengine, nione kwa mkono. Wacha nione.
If a person listens to that speech keenly, you can tell that Simba Arati is now preparing himself to battle Dr. King'offrey Matiang'i on the kingpinship of the Gusii region. Because of one simple thing. Let me define a few terms that he has used there. Number one, the people of Gusii. So he's not talking to Gusii County. He's telling a Gusii speaking person, a person who speaks the Gusii language, a person originated from Kisii and Nyamira, that Gusii, will you follow me going forward? Meaning that it is not Matiang'i, it is him. Not him and Matiang'i, it is him. That Matiang'i is not there in the picture. It is Simba Arati that is supposed to be followed by the people of Gusii going forward. So that statement by Simba Arati, it shows so many things, and it's going to form the basis of this analysis here today. But before I take you through, ladies and gentlemen, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mukwa Times, thank you so much for coming here. Second of all, kindly take a second to subscribe. My number is always here for those who want to actually support the channel through M-Pesa. The number is here. For those who want actually to share with me and enlighten me further on politics, please feel free to text or even call. Let me dive into the topic today. Now, Simba Arati, I've always opined on this show that they can work together with Matiang'i and probably form a very formidable team for 2027. And I've always said that I appreciate his ability in politics. This gentleman has done a lot, and I'm going to capture it here on this video. So therefore, I always have this idea that Simba Arati is a strong candidate in the Gusii region, and if he comes to work with Matiang'i, Matiang'i will be much more comfortable and stronger than any other coalition that you can have. So therefore, I felt very nicely that Simba Arati was with Matiang'i when he came for the homecoming. But now when I see these kind of things happening, I start questioning myself, what is happening within the Gusii region, especially as far as the top leadership is concerned. Now, this speech by Simba Arati had so many indications, ladies and gentlemen. And number one, as I mentioned, there's a battle that is planning with Dr. King'offrey Matiang'i. And this is basically aimed at diminishing Dr. King'offrey Matiang'i. But how did this come up? The fact remains that this is a plan of Ruto and Raila so that Matiang'i's influence can be reduced. Because once you are fought from home, you completely, okay, not completely, but you somehow lose some legitimacy in other parts of the country. So they know very well, and the dawa Matiang'i, it is probably Simba Arati, of which I want to overrule it here, that Simba Arati is not the person who can determine Matiang'i's support in the Gusii region. I always said actually that Simba Arati's advice, experience, political stature can be able to bring some impact in Matiang'i's team that is positive. But now to an extent where you think that Simba Arati can be able to manage Dr. King'offrey Matiang'i locally, it's impossible. On what basis? Matiang'i is not known because he was elected. No. It's because alifanya kazi. He did some tremendous job in the country. You guys, for those who did KCC before Matiang'i, who is like people like me, we cannot remember very well that exams announcing of results used to come almost more than 6 months. After it used to come, you'd finish exams at October, maybe even December, and then you get results there by March, and then going to the university, it was almost after a year. That was so time wasting. So that you have people have almost a year they are free just loitering back at home. So Form 4 students back at home instead of being in school, they're just there loitering, waiting to be called to go to universities. But after Matiang'i came on board and did some reforms within the education sector, we were able to see results being announced after a few days, and after that calling for universities come after 1 or 2 months, and you realize that people are joining immediately you've been called. That was amazing. It was not the only achievement that Matiang'i made. You can all go and check the videos I've done here, all the way in Nigeria, in ICT, where we had migration from analog to digital televisions, and so many other things. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. King'offrey Matiang'i is not known because he was elected, first of all. It is because of his work. And the country right now, it is in need of performers. People who can give hope for this country. And if Matiang'i is the one to give that, it's not Simba Arati to stop. Ladies and gentlemen, so I said they could work together because Matiang'i needs someone like that. But in case he doesn't, he will still get someone else who can replace, because nobody is too good in something. Others can also do the same thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, so therefore, the battle for Matiang'i and the Simba Arati Matiang'i battle, it's a plan of William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga, possibly to come and battle Matiang'i in the Gusii region. And I feel strongly that this can be, actually, my allegation can be definitely ignored or criticized. But according to me, I feel that there's probably a battle that's going to come. But I wish that Simba Arati puts aside the politics of Raila Amolo Odinga and William Ruto and focuses on the new politics from the Gusii region. When Nyachai came for president within the Gusii region, we had Raila Amolo Odinga dump him and went for Kibaki. Now, Nyachai finally went for the presidency. And actually, I'm telling you that if there's a time Gusii region got some development, it was during Nyachai's time, where we had the road between Keroka all the way to Gesusu was planned and finally implemented later on. It was also the same time where we had the road between Metamayo all the way to Kebirigo also being constructed. It's the time we had so many roads being done within the Gusii region. Ladies and gentlemen, actually, even during Matiang'i's time, during Nyachai's time, we had roads done, and during Matiang'i's time, we had the road between Kisii, Ahero, Kisumu, Kisii, Suneka, all the way to Migori, being done very well. That kind of achievement, it was done because of the strength of the politics within the Gusii region. It was that high. People had Nyachai they were speaking about. People now, during Matiang'i, they had Matiang'i they were talking about. So when we are going to have Matiang'i at the helm of this Kenyan politics, then we have a leader trying to bring him down. It is simply saying we don't have development within this region. Because we've seen, so long as you have a powerful leader from your region, you get development. That is where Kenya is. So therefore, as we speak today, Simba Arati should not battle Matiang'i in the Gusii region. Now, let me give you a simple history about Simba Arati. There are weaknesses that he has. I cannot honestly say that despite my interest to see him work with Matiang'i, that he does not have interest. When he came into office, he lied that he has constructed 100 classrooms in 1 year, which he did not. I asked an MCA literally in one of the interviews, and I'm going to upload it, that Simba Arati, did he construct the classrooms? He said no. And he lied that in front of the president here in Gusii. He also said that there were ghost workers, which he has never pointed out even one. And even he had said he collects 200 million from KTRH, which is not collecting, because right now, if you look at the books, there's nowhere 200 million appears. And ladies and gentlemen, we know very well that there was a time CT scan was not functioning for quite some time. And then you ask yourself, why is the 200 million that usually is collected from there that is not used to repair the CT scan or even get more CT scans within the Gusii Teaching and Referral Hospital? I learned that the CT scan was missing because I went there at some point, and then there's a young man who was brought by a pro box, and the father is the one who brought him. This was a boda guy. Then, after being looked at by one of the nurses there, the nurses said, take the patient to a certain hospital. I want to mention the name here. Then I was like, wait, why? I asked one of the watchmen, why is it that they are taking this patient out, yet he's at the hospital? I heard that the CT scan was not functioning. I felt very bad about it. But that is not the basis of what I'm talking about here. Simba Arati is still a good leader. I'm seeing right now working very well, ensuring that at least we are having Gusii town being made to be a town. You are seeing demolitions, and probably there's a dream to put pavements and construct few new things within the Gusii town. I love that. Secondly, he has talked of again going to change the Nyambera dump site where he had removed and covered some dirt there, some garbage. So probably it's going to change it to a people's park, which is amazing, to be one of the best, because that is what we need to do from that place. Now, if that happens, I feel strongly that it's going to shift even most of the operations toward that side, which is very good. It will actually change the face of the Gusii region. Now, I also feel strongly that Simba Arati's plan of managing corruption, it's amazing. We've not had any cases of corruption, but if they are there, probably is the one only who is doing it. But I believe he's trying his best. However, the issue of returning money, he should stop. But now, ladies and gentlemen, Simba Arati, despite being efficient on that, I want to say that there are some unfairness that he has faced in ODM that gives me the strength to say that Simba Arati should quit the ODM party in 2027 and join Matiang'i. And actually even now declare that he's supporting Matiang'i. Why am I saying so? Simba Arati, when he was actually the immediate vice chairperson before Mbadi was nominated to become the cabinet secretary. The expectations were he was supposed to be the chairperson, but instead it was given to Gladys Wanga. When Anthony Kibagendi and other ODM members of parliament from the Gusii region raised their voice to Raila Amolo Odinga and asked, now, you've given the chairperson to Gladys Wanga. You've given the minority leader to Junet Mohammed instead of Anthony Kibagendi. You've alienated the Gusii community from the leadership of ODM. Now, again, the deputy party leader seats have come that after nominating Oparanya and Joho, and you've said it is Samad Sharif Nasr, and of course, the Ososi, the governor of, I think, the senator of Vihiga. Then you ask yourself, why were these people complaining? They were complaining because the Arati, who had the ability even to be the deputy party leader or even party leader, was not considered. And even after the deputy party leader seats were vacant, he was not considered. Even the chairperson, he was not considered. Then they were asking themselves, why, and yet you want the Gusii support? The simple answer is here, that Simba Arati is not regarded as important in the ODM party. And his political contribution of bringing more than at least 5 members of parliament from the Gusii region to the ODM party. Remember, ODM party had never gotten any members of parliament from the Gusii region under the ODM ticket until Simba Arati came and changed the politics. That's how Raila Amolo Odinga got these members of parliament. There's no governor at all in the Gusii region that can tell Raila Amolo Odinga that I brought members of parliament except Simba Arati. So the person who changed the politics in Gusii for Raila Amolo Odinga is Simba Arati. So it was to be considered not just to be the deputy party leader, but the party leader after Raila Amolo Odinga was has decided to go for the AUC seat. But ladies and gentlemen, Raila Amolo Odinga did not seem important. And as a result of that, we can conclude here categorically that Simba Arati is not regarded in ODM, is not such important, is not the priority, and he should probably grow himself politically in a different outfit for him to be not just a governor, but also maybe a top leader in the country later on in the future, because he cannot grow under Raila Amolo Odinga. And Raila Amolo Odinga is exiting. It will be very free now. Simba Arati must remember his community. He will need him later. He will need them later on in the future. So this is the time for him to put his stand clear for the people of the Gusii region. I don't know what's your take on my analysis. Let me see in the comment section what you think.